Hello, it's me, the Avatar Fanatic, and today we're gonna be talking about the reason Amon can cheat block. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe down below. I have Xavier from Everything Avatar. I mean, I probably have more videos with him than he has on his main channel with this friend at this point. But
Yeah,
yeah,
just about.
it might be more. Really
Might
might.
be the same amount.
Hey,
Oh no, I have like
honest,
4 videos up. This
yeah,
is like our fifth video together or something.
yeah. But either way, yeah, subscribe to both of our channels. It's one button on both of our channels. I mean, for him, it's basically two. You have to click on the description, or find his channel on YouTube, but subscribe,
Bro,
or
shut
he
up.
will.
You're making it seem like more work. Yo, go check out my channel. It's a dope channel.
I was gonna
You know,
say
we do
Sokka will steal your girl.
we
That's
do
an old one.
strictly Avatar related videos. I know you guys will enjoy what we have up there, and I'm gonna try to start consistently pumping out content as long as my partner cooperates with me.
I mean, you could do some solo videos too on your own little stuff, but I mean that's what
Yeah,
I
I
would
might.
say. But today we came for the reason Amon can perma G block. So it would prompt you to ask, what are some of the things that could enable Amon to G block? So
Lucky for you, we spent 30 minutes writing down a bunch of ideas before this video.
this video is sponsored by us wasting our time. Now, it's not wasting. This is a productive discussion that we need to get to the bottom of, okay?
All right. So to start off this whole theory video, one of the first things I want to list is also going to be one of the more simple theories. This theory basically comes across as, I don't know, maybe surface level, what somebody who is a casual fan might interpret it as. The first one I
Interpretate.
want to point out is maybe Amon's chi blocking was just too good. Chi blocking was stronger than everybody else's chi block. Dude was just built different.
Yeah,
Hit them chi blocks harder. Maybe he just chi blocked with more force. You
more
know,
venom.
dude had beefy forearms. But yeah, maybe he just poked you with them 2 fingers harder than anybody else could, and boom, your bending goes bye bye.
The bending went chow. Um, Now, on a more constructive note, that might seem surface level at first, but what connections can we possibly make from even that theory? So I dug pretty deep. When Toph, learned to metal bend, she acknowledged in the earthly impurities in the metal, right? So that could be Amon with not blood bending, with perma chi blocking, right? He could have acknowledged Toph had the impurities that he needed to get rid of those impurities so he could actually perma chi block instead of temporarily chi block. And that's one of the theories, is that he could have actually completely perfected the art of chi blocking to the point that he can actually perma chi block, and he could have no impurities in his motions, his techniques every time, because every time it was the same location, perfect spot on the head, and he can always perma chi block.
Yeah, so that theory kind of just adds on to the first one I did, the little simplistic surface level kind of theory I provided, where basically Toph got her special ability, metal bending, by finding the impurities in of Earth inside of the metal, specifically the metal box that she was stuck in. So maybe Amon did the opposite.
Yeah,
This would basically be him just perfecting chi blocking to the absolute max, bro. This dude is like modding, like using hacks. Bro is perfect every single time.
his sliders are on 100.
Nah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I
Dude can't
mean,
even be hit.
yeah, I mean, it would make sense because like he put all of his sliders up. Like he was a master in hand-to-hand combat, blood bending, water bending, everything. This man just turned the sliders all the way up, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did that with chi blocking as well.
Classic anime character, bro. Ridiculously overpowered, but somehow still gets defeated.
Nah, Korra got really lucky. She got really lucky with Amon, like extremely lucky though. Um, so that strings us to our other theory, which could be maybe just his blood bending was too good. You know, he could have maybe blood bended them to internally alter, a part of their brain, maybe fry it, or maybe cut off a supply of blood, so a bloodstream, to a part of their brain or a part of the body that actually prevents them from bending.
I think this one is is a bit more interesting because Amon, whenever he blood bent, he never used his hands, implying that he was a psychic bender. So if he was a psychic bender, he would have no hand motions to imply what he's actually doing to the person that he's blood bending. So we don't know what he could have been altering with, internally.
Maybe he
Tampering, my bad.
psychically
We
could
don't
have
know what he
took
could have been
someone's away.
tampering with internally. Maybe, you know, mismatching or altering something in their brain where it just couldn't receive, I don't know, signal from the rest of the body to bend or something like that, or send out the signal. Because
Maybe
we don't know the extent that blood bending can really go to, because we've only had, you know, a solid handful of characters who could actually blood
yeah,
bend.
about like 5 or 6 that we know of. Maybe there was some guy before, like that we don't know about, but highly
Very
doubt it.
possible.
Basically, what I wanted to actually point out from that
Wait,
is
wait,
that
wait. Time out. I love it with opposite reactions. You said that, I'm like, very possible. You're like, highly doubt it.
great, that's great.
That was
Um,
perfect.
but either way, it it could really just be the blood bending to the point where he just cuts people's supplies off. It's like electricity. If you cut the electric supply off, you cut the wire, it could just be gone. They're part of their brain memory on how to bend. Maybe it's gone. Maybe there's a place in the brain where they can store all their memory of what they've learned, all the moves and techniques that they've learned. Because when Lin Bei Fong got her powers taken away, right? Um, he did his usual motion, but she still was remembering like the people in her life, but she just didn't seem to know how to bend.
Yeah.
Which brings me to another thing. Maybe it's a combination of both. Maybe it can be a combination of cutting off supplies to the bending abilities, and it can also be chi blocking in terms of him perfecting it, and it really being permanent instead of just being for a really long time, like someone like Suki and Ty Lee could do it for like hours.
I've actually really liked that theory because it kind of aligns with my initial interpretation of the whole, you know, first season, or at least, the finale with Amon and all of that, where my initial interpretation basically was he used bloodbending somehow in order to perma chi block, and he's a very good chi blocker. I didn't, go very in depth with it, but I really like that. I really like that theory specifically because I think it's logically sound without being in depth enough for people to like poke holes in it. So it's just kind of there.
Yeah, it's a more broad one, but makes sense. Like sensically, it makes sense. Um, so next theory we actually really want to like go over it, and this is one of the, I'd say, favorite theories that we've actually come up with because it's actually really thorough and it's really thought out of, and it has a lot of layers to it. But there are a lot of
And
things to put it together, but all of these things are relatively canon from what we know, at least. And what did you want to add?
and I'd like to be the one who explains this theory
Go
because
for it.
I think I was the one who initially, sparked the idea to like, start talking about this theory, or at
Yeah.
least, formulating ideas about it. The theory goes, stay with me, kind of complex, or maybe I'm just stupid. But the theory goes, every time Amon has taken somebody's bending away, he places his thumb on the constituent's head, specifically the forehead. Now, the lore of the show goes, there's multiple. chakra points in the body. You know, these chakra points are, I guess, paths or gateways, as Guru Patik described it, where chi flows through.
Yep.
One of the chakra points is located in the forehead, right where Amon sticks his thumb. That chakra point is the light chakra point. It is blocked by illusion and things like that.
So
This is all canon. All the information I just provided you is canon. So, my theory, and what I believe to be the most logically sound theory, is that Amon uses blood bending, and I guess, you know, a bit of chi blocking to permanently block that chakra point. He places his thumb on the chakra point every time. So did Aang every time he took somebody's bending away. I believe that that may or may not be either the most convenient chakra point to use, or maybe the only chakra point that actually works.
yeah, maybe if
Would you
like
like to add on?
if you break someone's spine, maybe the Earth chakra could go, maybe. But like if you like completely take out someone's body part, possibly like it could be someone's bending taken away. But one thing I would like to add is that when Korra, caught the Amon treatment, um, when he when she got the Amon treatment, what
Special
happened
treatment.
was um, all her bending, all of her bending was gone except the air bending. Now, why is this important? Because Korra's toughest element to learn was the airbending, signifying that she wasn't really connected with airbending like the other elements, as Aang was. I think with firebending was his problem, or earthbending was his problem actually.
Yeah,
Um,
earthbending.
I mean, I can see how both of them could have been a problem, but um, what that means is that if she was convinced with delusion, which is the illusion of not being able to use her fire bending, water bending, and earth bending, because she was deluded out of using it. So the one that she wasn't actually, connected with was the one that worked because she had the least connection with it. So Amon can actually track down that connection at the time because
Yeah,
she wasn't as good as she was now. So what that means is that Korra had the ability to actually bend because, I mean, theoretically, because um, she had virtually no connection with airbending.
yeah. And this point actually heavily correlates to what I was talking about earlier when it comes to the chakra point located in the forehead, the light chakra, the light chakra point or whatever. I don't know the terminology Patik used,
It's the
but
light chakra. Yeah.
The sixth pool of energy is the light chakra, located in the center of the forehead. It deals with insight and is blocked by illusion.
the light chakra. All right, so this correlates heavily because in the description of the light chakra, it is said that it is blocked by illusion. All right, illusion being, I don't know, maybe something imaginary that's manifested by the person, or maybe something that's believed that isn't actually true.
Hold on. I'm gonna pull up the definition. So, a thing that is or is likely to be wrongly perceived or interpreted by the senses, which could be the chakras, or a
Yeah,
deceptive appearance or a false idea or belief, which could also be like the sort of thing that Korra happened to experience with the other elements that she did with airbending.
hmm thank you. That actually helped clear up my thought process a lot. So basically, she thought that when Amon took her bending away, she wouldn't be able to bend anymore, or at least believe that there was a possibility that she wouldn't be able to bend anymore. So maybe this qualifies as an illusion, therefore blocking her chakra path, light chakra
Hmm.
path, stopping her from bending. And the reason I'm pointing to the light chakra, the light chakra path as the one, that specifically that could prevent somebody from bending is because that's really the only one we've seen used At
That's
least the
where the
way
thumb
I've
is placed, in the forehead, where the
interpreted
location
it.
of it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only chakra point we've seen being used in order to take somebody's bending away. So, by her believing that she wouldn't be able to bend anymore, or she might not be able to bend anymore, this created an illusion, therefore blocking her light chakra path located in her forehead. This kind of just makes it so that Amon isn't really doing anything, and he's just really smart and great at manipulating people, similar to a sociopath,
Yeah. Amon
which he might have
probably
been
is.
regardless.
Yeah. One thing I also want to add to that theory is maybe people were so deluded because they thought they couldn't bend anymore because of how intimidating Amon was, which would make sense of a false idea of belief, definition of illusion. Or maybe he provided some trauma, indicating an illusion to the mind. Remember, every bender who actually got their powers taken away opened their mouths when Amon did that. Lin Bei Fong opened her mouth off memory. Korra did as well. Um, Everyone,
Lightning bolt Zolt.
I believe Yakone and Ozai also did, right?
Yeah.
And when they do that, that could be on the illusion, definition is a mirage. So a sort of hallucination or an illusion that they can't bend anymore because they have done that. Amon could have just sent such a sense of like a PTSD or something else that could have created an illusion that therefore blocked their chakra path.
All right. So to move on to our next theory, or I guess point in this video, energy bending. We know that Aang received energy bending from the Lion Turtles in season 3. Aang received energy bending, therefore giving Aang and all avatars after him energy bending. And this is how Aang was able to take people's bending away. This is how I believe Korra actually gave people their bending back,
Yep,
via energy bending.
that's true. That's canon. Yeah.
So we know that the Avatar can energy bend. And that is the only, I guess, completely canon and, I don't know, I guess, explained reasoning behind why a character would be able to take away or give somebody bending.
Because she's meant to
So,
restore balance, so the Lion Turtles would give her the privilege of that.
yes. So this brings us on to our next point. Amon. What if Amon somehow acquired energy bending? You know, I guess this one would be perceived as a little bit more of a stretch, but just hear me out. We don't know much about Amon's life in between his childhood up until, the tyrannical dictator who's trying to take over the
Equalist.
United Republic. We don't know much about what he did, where he was, like anything about him during that time span. He
Yep.
very well could have. Now take this with,
A grain of salt.
a bucket of salt.
The whole bathtub.
He might have, maybe possibly could have ran into a lion turtle. You know why this lion turtle would give him energy bending when they're supposed to be, like all-knowing, powerful beings or whatever they are. I don't know. They're kind of portrayed as gods. It's
He could
never
have done the
outright said,
wand
but
and just never came back.
yeah.
Yeah.
Man, he could have stole energy bending. Mance could have been like, "Yo, let me borrow that."
He like blood
And
bended
then
like the energy out.
the lion turtle was like, "I got you, homie." And then once he got it, he was like, "Hey, yo, I don't even like you. I'm gonna take this, go take over the world or something."
Yeah.
And that's what he tried to do. I don't
Um,
know. I think that theory is pretty fun to, just play with. It's it's a cool thought exercise, and it can't be ruled out because we haven't really been given a canon reason yet.
One thing that might sound more plausible than what my friend said, even though it's, a stretch but possible, could have been that Amon got energy bending either from the lion turtle, like you said, or something like Zahir, where from Guru Lahim,
Guru Lahima.
yeah, Guru Lahima, um, where it was like a scripture, like Guru Lahima wrote. Energy bending's very old and dates back like 10,000 years. So what that would have meant, that there could have been scriptures written about energy bending, about how avatars have taken powers away using energy bending in the past. What that could prompt someone like Amon to do in his tyrannical way is to try his hardest, like Zahir did to fly and to levitate, his hardest to actually learn how to do that himself without any lion turtle giving it to him or learning it. What that can also mean is that he really, really, really tried his hardest, and because he mastered everything that he needed, he could have actually learned energy bending and somehow found out how to energy bend himself. This would make him uh, the first person to ever do that. So the first person to metal bend, for example, is Toph. The first person to fly is Zahir. Why couldn't Amon be the first person to be able to take away powers other than the Lion Turtles and the Avatar? So yeah,
Yeah, all right. So I know a lot of you guys are going to go straight away to poking holes in that theory. You know, the way
he
I
would have
see it
tried everything.
is there necessarily can't be too many holes poked in this theory because it is never canonly stated in really any form of Avatar lore that the only way somebody can acquire energy bending is through lion turtles. So there very well could be a possibility that we do not know about yet where someone could get energy bending through alternative means, or
Yeah,
maybe just simply learn the ability once learning about the ability, or learning of the existence of the ability.
maybe the spirit world could be
Spirit
very,
world could be
very
something to
much a
tamper with,
stretch. Very much a stretch. Or it could be some form of like, just getting it somehow. I don't know how he would get it, or maybe it's just maybe a sort of genetic thing that's rare, mutation, or it could just be him focusing on that, finding a way to do it either through his own work, his own exploring, or some scriptures. And yeah, one thing I want to add, him and Aang take away powers the same way. So he could just purely energy bend, theoretically, or hypothetically, sorry. Hypothetically, he can, energy bend like Aang did in the same exact way, like Korra, the same exact way. So could be that.
Yeah. All right. So obviously, most of this video is complete speculation. A lot of these things are, just us working around information that we do have and try and fill in the gaps, and come up with things that we aren't informed about at least, or maybe information that just isn't out there, isn't available yet. So yeah, most of this, or at least a huge portion of it, is pure speculation. We're not basing it off of any canon material, but it's hard to rule out any of these theories just because a lot of it really hasn't been dove into, or a lot of this information hasn't been developed on in the series is, or the comics that have been released and things like that.
Yeah, there should be like one like solely focused on Amon's like 20s and stuff. That'd be great.
Whole movie about Amon, live action or
That'd be
animated, bro.
great. Probably just a full production movie, so like a live action, I think.
Yeah, it'd be sick,
I don't
bro.
know,
They have to
animation
dive
would
into
make sense.
there's so much money to be made in the Avatar world. There
Yeah,
really is. There's so many different spin-offs and movies and everything that they could make from this series, man.
yeah.
And I
Uh,
can I can see Netflix
like we could
capitalizing
see
off of
like
it
Ty
heavily.
Lee's circus career or something.
Yeah. Bro,
Um,
even if it's a cartoon aimed at 12-year-olds, bro, like, bro, there's money to be made nearly everywhere. There's
absolutely.
a ridiculous amount of spin-off series and movies that could come from just these two shows that have and a few comic books that have been made so far. And I definitely see Netflix, at least attempting to capitalize heavily off of this series and the huge fandom that is already built
It
and
had the
set up for
record
them.
for the like longest time at #1 or something crazy. Like ATLA, I'm talking about, not Korra.
Yeah, one of the biggest
Korra got
series is
like
to ever
number
be put on
2 or 3
Netflix.
or 4 or something like that. Um,
Yeah.
One last thing that I really want to say is that all these, supposed theories or like hypotheses that we have, um, it could just they could all be true all at once. It could be everything. It could just he could just be the best, chi blocker in history with having blood bending work together with that, with the energy bending in turn also being able to help him with that. The group Pathique with the forehead thing might also play into the part of him going directly at the forehead.
Yeah. It could
So
be an infinite number of combinations of all the theories, or theories that we did or didn't mention. It could be two of them, it could be four of these theories put together, it could be all of them, it could be none of them.
yeah,
So this is meant to be a fun thought experiment, which is why I'm asking you guys, if you're interested in continuing the discussion, to please do so down in the comments. Let me know what you think of the theories we provided. Maybe you can expand on the ones that we did. Maybe you could provide completely new theories that we didn't even mention or think of.
absolutely. But what we do agree on here is we need to get to the bottom of this. This is like one of the most fascinating things across both series, Korra and you know, ATLA. It's one of the most fascinating things that I really want to get to, like, really want to know the reason of why. You know, why can he do that?
Yeah, Amon is definitely one of the most fascinating characters to be put in the not in just the show, but I guess to be
Ever?
introduced in this universe at all, like ever. Yeah,
Yeah. He could have just hated Bender so much. He could have. Wait, did he run away from his father?
yeah, something like that. His
What if
father
he
was
went?
Yukon.
What if he went to like a lion turtle, or he went to like the spirit world to like get something like that? Could be.
Yeah, I think we pretty much touched up on that
Yeah,
earlier
but
on
like,
with one
I
the
mean,
theories we
that
mentioned.
detail is also important, which is maybe
Yeah.
where he could have devoted all of his time to being able to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's an infinite number of possibilities, especially events that could have taken place between you know Amon's childhood and the time where he just became a tyrannical leader, or like started leading a freaking domestic terrorist organization.
I wanted to mention again that when Tarlok got his powers taken away, or when he got bloodbended, he could immediately tell it's Amon. So when he actually, chi blocked and blood bent, why could he actually tell that it was Amon? Was it because it was the same sort of blood bending, the same technique? Was it all to tie in with the chi blocking? When he got chi blocked, he mentioned that.
Hmm.
When he got so he did do that, but he was controlled, and then he got
Yeah.
his powers taken. He was like, "You're my brother, Amon
Hmm.
or Noatok." That, that's what he kind of said. But
Personally, I think it was more of a sense of familiarity, because he's been under Amon's um he's been under Amon's bloodbending grip before, and maybe everybody's bloodbending grips feels different somehow, and he was able to recognize that and remember the feeling from his childhood. Because something like that, I I at least presume would be traumatizing, to be blood bent, somebody
yeah,
enforcing their will over yours, controlling every freaking limb, muscle, tendon, ligament in your damn body. I,
Yeah,
I assume that'd be pretty damn traumatizing. So I definitely think he would remember that.
absolutely. Which I feel like that could possibly play some sort of part in why he powered out of Tarlok's sting like so easily. Like he just walked through it, which is
Ooh,
why he chi blocked him so easily as well. It's like he never faced a bloodbender before or after that, you know. So maybe it's just his strength versus bloodbending is so much more that he can do anything and impose his will so much that they're so diluted that they're done, that they just can't even bend once he does his chi block thing, you know.
yeah, bro. That scene specifically really sparked a lot of interest in my head because why was Amon able to do that? Why was he able to, somehow power through his bending? I did mention earlier in the video, the whole concept that Amon would be considered a psychic bender, along with somebody like Minghua, people who can bend without, arm or without physical motions in general. They can enforce the will over their respective elements without hand motions, being a psychic bender. So maybe with his psychic, due to the fact that Amon is a psychic bender, he was under Tarlok's grip but could still bloodbend. So I think he bloodbended himself forward.
Yeah, which is why I just think that he is so powerful, which is why imposing his will is so easy, which is why chi blocking could be so easy, which is why taking away powers doesn't seem so outlandish for him when it's all really there.
Hmm. Yeah,
So, overall, tell us down in the comments anything you'd like to add. If you agree with any of our theories, you know,
yeah.
sub
If you want to
to
call BS on one of our theories, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, sub to my channel down below. Sub to Mr. Everything Avatar. I just passed him in subs. He might be angry.
I'm not angry.
Oh, okay. Okay. So make sure to sub to our channels. Comment down on the video what you guys think. Again, why did Amon, you know, why could he perma cheat block? That's the topic of the video. And yeah, we'll see you. The Avatar Fanatic and Everything Avatar Xavier from Everything Avatar out.
Thank you everybody for watching. Make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed. Continue discussion in the comments. Peace.
Peace.